Yo, what's up? Dr. Swole here, MD, pro natural physique athlete, back with another video. Today I'm going to be giving you a full science-based hypertrophy program which uses 5-3-1 in combination with the upper-lower split. This is going to be a 4-day program with moderate volumes, best designed for a late beginner to intermediate athlete. 5-3-1 is a very simple but effective strength building system, which is built around 4 days centered on the squat, bench, deadlift, and overhead press. It's a very versatile programming strategy and is friendly for hypertrophy. Plus, it fits very well into the upper-lower split. Quick outline for today, I'm going to be sharing everything you need to know to run this program, including exercises, sets, and reps. We'll start with a program walkthrough, and after that, I'll talk about the weekly setup, and then we'll go into 5-3-1 explained. I'll talk about how to set this up. 5-3-1 has a specific progression scheme, which is actually one of its big strengths because it makes it easy for beginners to program. Finally, I'll talk about the pros and cons of my program as written. For more free science-based hypertrophy programs like this, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and let's get into it. All right, let's do our program walkthrough. So this is Dr. Swole's 5-3-1 upper-lower program. It's set for moderate volumes, well designed for a late beginner to intermediate athlete. We have upper body day 1, lower body day 1, upper body day 2, and lower body day 2. Here are the exercises, and here are the sets and reps. Here we have the total number of sets per workout, so you have an idea of workout length, and down here we have the total number of sets for each muscle group per week. Starting off with upper body day 1, we start off with bench press, and we have 5 working sets here, not including the warm-up sets of the 5-3-1 program. So you'll be following the 5-3-1 template up to your top set. And after your top set, you'll do 4 more back off sets with 5 to 10 reps with lighter weight. Drop about 10 to 20% off the bar. Then we have barbell rows for the back, 4 sets of 6 to 10. After that, we have incline cable flies, 3 sets of 10 to 15. And then close grip lat pull downs for the back, 4 sets of 10 to 15. After that, we have cable press downs for the triceps, 3 sets of 10 to 15. Dumbbell upright rows for the side delts, 3 sets of 6 to 10. And finally, cable lateral raises for the side delts, 2 sets of 8 to 12. Moving on to lower body day 1, we start off with the squat. And again, with the squat, you'll be following the 5-3-1 template through their warm-up sets, and then you'll do 5 working sets. So the first working set will be your top set, as written in 5-3-1, and then you'll have 4 back-off sets with 5 to 10 reps using lighter weights. Notice that I'm implementing the top set back-off method here. And I think it's a really powerful way of synergizing this program into your hypertrophy training. We'll talk more about that later. Moving on, we have Romanian deadlifts for the glutes and hamstrings, 3 sets of 6 to 10. Smith machine Bulgarian split squats, 3 sets of 8 to 12. And I count these for quads and glutes and hamstrings. Then we have leg extensions for the quads, 3 sets of 10 to 15. Moving on, we have hammer curls for the biceps, 2 sets of 6 to 10. Following that, easy bar curls again for the biceps, 3 sets of 8 to 12. Dumbbell lateral raises for the side delts, 2 sets of 8 to 12, and machine calf raises for the calves, 3 sets of 10 to 15. Notice that this is a modified upper-lower split following my favorite customizations to the standard upper-lower. You'll notice that we've moved our bicep training from upper body days onto leg days, and we've split up our side delt training across all 4 days. This helps to even out the days and allows you to train your biceps when they're fresh. Moving on to upper body day 2, we start off with the overhead press, and you'll be going up to 3 working sets here. You'll follow the warm-up sets as laid out by 5-3-1, and then hit your top AMRAP set. After that, you'll back off and wait and go 2 more sets of 5 to 10 reps. Then we have weighted dips for the chest and triceps, 3 sets of 6 to 10. These are a great pressing accessory that Wendler likes quite a bit, so I have included them here. Then we have weighted chin-ups for the back, 4 sets of 6 to 10, cable rows, 4 sets of 8 to 12, and then close grip bench press, which I count for the triceps and chest, 3 sets of 8 to 12. Following that, we have dumbbell skull crushers for the triceps, 2 sets of 8 to 12, dumbbell upright rows for the side delts, 3 sets of 8 to 12, and notice that you can superset these 2 dumbbell movements. We wrap it up with cable lateral raises for the side delts, 2 sets of 12 to 20. Closing off the week, we have lower body day 2. We start off with deadlifts for the glutes and hamstrings, 3 sets. Follow 5-3-1 up to your top set, and then after the top set, you have 2 more working sets where you back off and wait and go for 5 to 10 reps. Then we have front squats for the quads, 3 sets of 6 to 10, followed by leg presses, also for the quads, 3 sets of 8 to 12. You can superset these on the leg press machine with calf raises, 5 sets of 8 to 12. After that, we have leg curls for the hamstrings, 3 sets of 10 to 15. Lying bicep curls, my favorite bicep exercise, 3 sets of 6 to 10. Machine preacher curls, also for the biceps, 2 sets of 10 to 15. And finally, dumbbell lateral raises for the side delts, 2 sets of 10 to 15. As you guys might have noticed, most of my programs are written with the idea of allowing you to bring in some strength type programming in a plug and play fashion. And this program is an example of that. Here we brought in some very basic strength type programming which fits seamlessly into a hypertrophy type setup. In fact, having some strength work will benefit you even from a pure bodybuilding perspective. Question of the day, what program do you guys want to see me cover next? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, now that you've seen the program, let's go over my preferred layout. So here's the weekly setup. You start out with upper body day 1, rest, lower body day 1, rest, upper 2 and lower 2, rest. As usual, I like to spread out my rest days as much as possible throughout the week, so you're as rested as possible for each session. With an upper lower split, when 2 days come back to back, I like to have the upper body day come before the lower body day. This is because a difficult lower body day can fatigue you for an upper body session coming after, but not so much the other way around. And you'll see here how 5-3-1 fits really nicely into an upper lower split. Your squat and deadlift days fit on lower days, and your upper body days accommodate your bench and overhead press, and you get nice spacing between your upper and lower body lifts. Okay, let's go over the 5-3-1 program. This was initially designed by Jim Wendler and is set to help you build strength in the squat, bench, deadlift, and overhead press. It was initially written for a 4-week mesocycle where you have 3 weeks of accumulation and a 1-week deload. In each of the main lifts, you work up to a heavy top set. Each row represents a set. So in week 1 on all of your major lifts, you're going to start off with 40% by 5. Now note that in these percentages, they're actually based off of 90% of your true 1 rep max. Basically, you want to start off with lighter weights so you don't overdo it. So in your following warm-up sets, you would go to 50%, 60%, 65%, and 75%. Finally, you'll cap it off with your top set of 85% by 5+. Now, this is the key here. When we say 5+, what we mean is an AMRAP. That is, you're going to be hitting at least 5 reps, but you'll keep going for as many reps as possible. This is a really powerful method of auto-regulation because it basically takes into account how you're performing specifically on that day and really allows you to get the most out of that workout. In week 2, you'll be moving towards heavier weights. So warm-up sets of 5s, 3s, and finally a top set of 90% times 3+. And in week 3, we increase the weights again and finish off with a top set at 95% of your 90% of your 1 rep max for a 1+ AMRAP. Note that initially your reps are actually going to be significantly higher than 5-3-1 because of this plus. For example, in week 1, you might even get 10 reps on your AMRAP set. This is great because it's very friendly for hypertrophy and also gives you lots of room to add in weight over time. Note that the 5-3-1 program is really designed just to set you up for that main top set of the day. What you do after that is really up to interpretation. This gives the program a lot of flexibility, and I like using it in a plug and play fashion. That is, as you saw in this program, we plugged it into a more hypertrophy focused program using my programming strategies. As you saw, this kind of program works really well in a top set back off type setup. That is, you hit your heavy top set according to the 5-3-1 template, and then you drop some weight and do back off sets. This allows you to put in that specific work for strength as well as putting in volume for hypertrophy. Okay, let's touch on our progression scheme here. So 5-3-1 comes with a set progression, and that is with your squat and deadlift, you'll add 10 pounds per cycle, and on your bench and overhead press, you'll add 5 pounds per cycle. This is a pretty conservative rate of progress for someone who's a beginner, but it does really add up over the months. I'll note that this program is initially set to have you deloading every 4th week. This actually won't be necessary for most beginner and intermediate bodybuilders. So I'd actually recommend that you run multiple cycles back to back until you actually need a deload. This will allow you to progress faster. Okay, now let's wrap up with the pros and cons of this 5-3-1 upper lower program. First of all, it has excellent use of the top set back off method. As I mentioned earlier, this actually works really well because you get in that heavy work on that top set, and then you can back off with lighter weights for your volume work. Having a little bit of heavy work in your program probably is beneficial for hypertrophy because when you build that strength, you're able to move more weight and thus generate more mechanical tension, which has been shown to be the main driver of hypertrophy. Next, this program is very simple to follow, and this is what I really like about 5-3-1. It gives you a very structured system to follow. I actually used this program for a while as a beginner, and I really liked how I was able to set up an Excel file and just plug my numbers in and follow it. Next, this program works well for power building if that is your goal. I set this program up to have a major focus on hypertrophy with a secondary focus on strength, but you could manipulate it a bit for power building if you had equal priority for strength and hypertrophy. Next, the upper-lower split combined with 5-3-1 is a very flexible program. Your upper and lower days don't really clash, so you can move them around throughout the week as necessary. Finally, 5-3-1 has a good use of auto-regulation. Getting used to doing AMRAP sets without failing under the bar is actually a great experience for beginners in getting a sense of their repetitions in reserve. Plus, it makes sure that you get the most out of your day. If you're feeling really fresh one day, you'll just get in more reps. And if you're having a tough day, you won't beat yourself up about not hitting a certain prescribed number of reps. Okay, let's talk about some cons of 5-3-1, some of which we've addressed. First of all, you have a slow progression for beginners. For someone who's an absolute novice, you can probably progress faster than 10 pounds per month for your lower body lifts or 5 pounds per month for your upper body lifts. If you are really just starting the gym, you might actually want to try a more linear type progression scheme where you're adding weight every workout or every week. But this program can work really well beyond the novice stage. And notice that even if the rate of progression is a little bit slow for you, you can still progress by adding reps. This is the power of having AMRAPs. Next, the 5-3-1 program has been criticized for not having enough squat and bench pressing. I have addressed this issue in the program by adding more back-off work for squats and bench press. Note that you can change the number of sets depending on your needs and what allows you to progress the fastest. Finally, 5-3-1 may have too much deloading for people who are less advanced. Especially for hypertrophy, you really only want to deload when it's actually necessary. So if you don't feel that fatigue is an issue and you're progressing well, I'd recommend stringing together multiple cycles of this program. All in all, I think the 5-3-1 programming strategy fits really well into the upper-lower split. I didn't talk about the pros and cons of the upper-lower split, but you've heard me talk about that in other videos. I have followed a very similar program to this in the past with good results. Now, I will be sharing the full program as laid out in an Excel file in my Facebook group. So if you haven't joined the group already, find the link in the description below, join the group, and you can download the program for free. If you'd like me to write you a custom hypertrophy program tailored to your needs, follow me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is @DrSwole, that's DR_SWOLE. DM me the word program and I'll let you know my rates. To learn more about the top set back off method and why I think it's an awesome setup for strength and hypertrophy gains, check out this video where I go into full detail. If you have a friend who's just getting to lifting, make sure you send them one of my free program explained YouTube videos. Subscribe to the channel and we'll see you next time.